Welcome in to another episode of Chic and Ball, another special edition, this time our mock draft round 2. Similar to our first round, we'll have a clock, we'll look at rosters, and we'll pick players. For everyone that's been following along since day one, you know that I've been recapping each WNBA team from worst to first, and I promise you guys we'll get back to our offseason review. We got 2 more teams left, the Liberty and the Aces, and I want to bring you guys some mean highlight packages from a lot of players on those teams. So when it drops, it'll be epic. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss that. With that being said, let's get this ball rolling. Our second round of the 2024 WNBA mock draft starts now.
Expect the unexpected. I got you. Here we go, baby. Be ready.
I got it. What's the order?
Well, thank you for asking. As you can see, we got the Phoenix Mercury, Seattle Storm, Indiana Fever to open up the round. To close out the round, we got the Connecticut Sun, New York Liberty, and Las Vegas Aces. But before we actually get to the picks and get the clock rolling, I want to take a look at some of the previous second round picks that were able to flourish in the league. And when I did my research, it's like a motherfucking crapshoot when you look at the second round. You rarely see any of these players flourishing, maybe one every couple years, but I'm going to recap some of those players and show y'all who was able to flourish out of that second round. And we're going to break it down in odd years and even years from 2015 to 2022. We didn't want to put it all on one page and jumble it all up, and we wanted to get y'all some photos so y'all can see who we talking about. But we're going to start in 2021, 2 second-round picks. The 13th pick, Dana Evans. Y'all already know about her. Knockdown shooter, champion for the Chicago Sky. She was there with Candace Parker and Kahleah Copper when they was hoisting that championship. And with the 20th pick in that same draft, DiJonai Carrington was selected. And y'all already know how I feel about Nay. Soon-to-be starter, all-star potential. Sophie Young was the 13th pick in 2019. Mo Grit in your neighborhood, IHOP. Natisha Hiedeman in that same draft was the 18th pick. She now just started 2 straight seasons for the Connecticut Sun. Lindsay Allen in 2017 was the 14th pick. She played for 4 teams but has contributed on each one of them and has started in 55 games in her career so far. Natasha Cloud, probably the best passer in the game. If you can name someone else, feel free to comment, but she has to be in your top 3 passers today. And Betnijah Laney, definitely one of my favorite players and probably the best baller on this list and definitely one of the most underrated players in the league. She was selected 17th, and I think I forgot to mention, Natasha Cloud was selected 15th in that same draft. Alright, now let's reverse double back to 2022 when Naz Hillmon was selected. And you know I got to shout out the home team. She's from Cleveland, Ohio. Drafted 16th overall in 2022, Krista Dangerfield. She started 88 games in her career. Myisha Hines-Allen has started 73 games. Sadie Russell has been a constant in the Seattle Storm rotation since she was drafted in 2018. And this is honestly as deep as the second round goes for these past few years. It's not more than 2 or 3 players from the draft in the second round that flourish. I don't even think it's on the players. Honestly, the scouting department is horrible. They keep picking from the same schools, same style of players, and most players end up being cut after a couple years, and most don't even play at all. When it comes to this WNBA second round, we need to do something different and think outside the box, and that's what I tried to do here. So let's start our clock and get ready for the 13th pick. And we got the Phoenix Mercury picking here, and they really need all the help they can get. We had them picking Cam Brink in round 1. Bree Turner started in 33 games and averaged 3.5 points, so I know her spot getting taken. And if they decide to keep Big G, pairing her with Cam Brink, that'll be a dominant front court. I'm thinking they need a scorer, playmaker, somebody that's going to be able to control the ball, get in and out of the offense when DT is not on the court. They got some nice backcourt players, Sophie Young, Michaela Onyewarwe, Shea Petty if she decides to stay with the team. But honestly, when you finish with 9 wins out of 40 games, everybody need to be on the chopping block. All y'all need to be worried about your position. They also had Skylar Diggins-Smith, who occupied a roster spot last season. With her moving on in free agency, we know that's another spot that's going to be open for somebody to take. But with that being said, let's get to the 13th pick in the 2024 WNBA draft. The Phoenix Mercury select Jerkaila Jordan, Mississippi State. Jerkaila Jordan is widely recognized as a 3-level scorer who's played 3 years in the SEC. And during those 3 years, she's averaged 14 on 45% shooting from the field, 37% shooting from 3. She's had 18 games with 20 or more to date and also averages 2 steals during her 4 years in college. She's 5'9", but can post up like a forward and run a break with or without the ball. And she got what I like to call baller-like tendencies. Sometimes you can just see it in a player. This off-ball move I'm going to show y'all here is very decisive, and the finish was nicer than your first grade teacher. And she just a straight up professional scorer. When your coach calling plays for you to go down on the block at 5'9", and you doing that fadeaway, that's a fadeaway that only professionals can hit. Now, it won't be easy, but if she can come into that Phoenix Mercury locker room with that scorer mentality that she has now, ain't no reason she shouldn't be able to make the team and get some valuable minutes. And now we got the Seattle Storm picking at number 14. In the first round, we had them selecting Aaliyah Edwards, but not only do they need to go for some more talent in this second round, I think they need to revamp this entire roster. And this is the exact shit that I'm talking about. 2 players from UConn, 2 players from Tennessee. Last year, they drafted Jordan Horston out of Tennessee, and this is no slight to her. I hope she can turn out to be a decent player, but she shot under 40% from the field in college, and she's shooting under 37% from the field in the W, under 25% from 3, but they drafted her number 9 overall. And their second round pick, Dulcie Fanka-Mangiadu, she had way better percentages than Jordan Horston, and she was drafted in the second round, number 21 overall. And I don't want to go on a rant, but make sure you subscribe because I will probably do a Draft Bust podcast now that I'm thinking about it. But let's get to this next pick. With the 14th pick in the 2024 WNBA Draft, the Seattle Storm select Tyana Pow Pow, South Carolina Gamecocks. Tyana Pow Pow played her first 3 years at Oregon in the Pac-12, put up very solid scoring numbers and very efficient shooting. In her senior season, she transferred to South Carolina, and her numbers have went through the roof since joining the Gamecocks and Dawn Staley. Not only is she shooting 55% from 3, she hitting about 3 of them per game. Not only is she a spot-up shooter and can hit from the corner, she can also work out of the pick and roll and make plays for her teammates. And being coached by Dawn Staley, you know that ball IQ is getting higher and higher. South Carolina has played on national TV a lot this year, so I done seen her help out her teammates, and I done seen her bail them out by hitting 3s at the end of the shot clock. And what I look for most in a guard is not only to have the ability to be a spot-up shooter, but keeping your head up and catching teammates down there on the break. If you ain't dominant as a scorer or an elite passer, that's cool. You just got to be very, very solid in both areas, and that I think she is. Picking at number 15 is the Indiana Fever, and they have 2 cornerstone players, Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. And in this round, I think they should be selecting somebody that's going to be a nice talent to pair with both of them 2, that can play off both of them 2, and that don't need the ball as much. So let me show you what we got here at number 15. And with the 15th pick in the 2024 WNBA Draft, the Indiana Fever select Madison Conner out of TCU. Maddie Conner is just so smooth when you watch her play. She's a very solid playmaker. She fights for rebounds. Her catch and shoot is crazy. I done seen her hit him off the dribble. And I know you're probably thinking she only had 1 year shining at TCU in the Pac-12, but in that 1 year, she shined so good, averaging 21 points. I think that playing with Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, that's going to open up so much space out on the perimeter. And I mean, just check the numbers. Her catch and shoot is off the charts. She's 38% from 3, 40% this senior season. And she's playing off of Caitlin Clark. She's playing off of Aaliyah Boston. She's playing off of Kelsey Mitchell, Erica Wheeler. So she won't even have to be a ball handler, even though she got that in her game. And what she also got in her game is the ability to put the ball on the floor and get all the way to the rim and finish. And just when you thought you contested her shot, she ain't see nothing. Unfazed, dead out 3. LA Sparks gonna be picking number 16, and I got the perfect player for that roster. And let's get to it. With the number 16 pick in the 2024 WNBA Draft, the Los Angeles Sparks select Jessika Carter, Mississippi State. And the reason I think that this would be the perfect pick for LA is because they always have injuries in the front court, and they already picked Paige Beckers and Charisma Osborne in the first round, according to me. So I'm not going to have them picking another guard because they already have a bunch of guards on the team. But Jessika Carter, she's already been at Mississippi State for 6 years, so she's probably the most experienced. She has the most coaching and IQ, I would say. She don't got the best scoring numbers, but her efficiency has been really good, and I think that can translate to the professional level. She's 6'5", and we all know height wins in this league. And pairing her with Paige Beckers, Neko Ogumike, Lexi Brown, they going to be able to drop that ball down to somebody that they know going to be able to finish. Now, the eye test looks like she'll be strong enough to hold up in the league, but we'll have to see because we know this league is very, very tough. And when you're selected in that second round, it's a crapshoot. And that's just according to the draft history we talked about. But I think Jess Carter can come in and change all that and be a very solid player for the Sparks and have a solid career in the W. Chicago Sky picking at number 17, and they finished under 500, so they definitely also need all the talent they can get. Kalia Copper really has no real true side star to go to. Not saying they're going to get that in this round, but the team definitely needs somebody that's more efficient that they can rely on every game. And now, with the 17th pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Chicago Sky select Ayoka Lee, Kansas State Wildcats. Ayoka Lee has spent all 4 years in the Big 12 for Kansas State, and she's coming out averaging damn near a double-double. Her freshman year and junior year, she did average a double-double. On top of that, she's giving you almost 3 blocks. She's 6'6", which will instantly make her the tallest player in that Sky locker room. And currently occupying the big spot, they have Elena Smith and Elizabeth Williams, who are both pros and veterans, but Ayoka Lee was better in college than both of those two, so she should be able to dominate and get some playing time. Now we know Ayoka Lee is a double-double machine, but she's also leaving college with a field goal percentage of about 60%. And that kind of efficiency translates to the W, trust me. And all she do is finish around the basket. If she can't do that in the pros, then she can do it overseas. But she will have a very long, prosperous basketball career. Las Vegas Aces picking next at number 18. And we all know this roster is stacked up like pissy mattresses on the front line. And if you know, you know. But what I want to do for this team, I just wanted to get them a developmental player, somebody who can come in with some face recognition and just learn behind those players because they already have an amazing team. They really don't need no help at all. But I got somebody who's going to have some nice recognition that everybody knows that would fit right in with that roster. And with that being said, with the 18th pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Las Vegas Aces select Deja Kelly, North Carolina Tar Heels. Deja Kelly, All-American USA player, very high following on social media. I seen some publications that had her going in the first round, but ain't no way you can take her in the first round. Her scoring is just too inefficient. Right now, leaving college, she's shooting about 36% from the field and 30% from three. And I literally just talked about Seattle taking Jordan Horston, who had bad shooting percentages in college, and it didn't work out in the W. So I don't want to seem like a hypocrite and act like this is going to be a knock it out the ballpark pick. But she do got face recognition. Even sitting on the bench, she going to bring more eyes to the league. And I think she should be in the league, kind of like Didi Richards. Didi Richards should also be in the league, even if she just sitting on the bench. She bring attention to the league, and that's what we need. But a few good notes on Deja Kelly. She is really good as a playmaker. She plays really good defense. And she's so determined, even with her bad shooting percentages, she's leaving averaging 15 points per game, which is more than some players I had selected in the first round. If anybody can get those shooting percentages on track, it's going to be Becky Hammond. She played the game at a very high level, and she seemed to have a good grip on the guard position. You see how Kelsey Plum is flourishing. In Las Vegas Aces, they do have Kirsten Bell playing at the guard position. She also played at O-State for the home team and had not so good shooting percentages in college, and her shooting percentages have been awful in the W. She's shooting 34% and 22% from three. But let's be honest, ain't nothing wrong with sitting behind some great players, picking up some experience and a damn championship ring. Minnesota Lynx going to be picking at number 19, and they already pretty stacked in the front court with Fisa and Dorka Juhas. We had them selecting Haley Van Lith in the first round. Ariel Powers didn't play much last season. Rachel Branham is a pretty nice shooter, but they still don't have anybody that's a real quintessential playmaker ball player, and I think that's who they're going to go with. So let's see who we have them selecting at number 19. And with the 19th pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Minnesota Lynx select Georgia Amoore, Virginia Tech Hokies. Georgia Amoore has been very consistent in her 4 years at Virginia Tech. Her scoring numbers have improved every year, as well as her field goal and three-point percentages. In her senior season, she's averaging 7.5 assists, and that shows that she knows how to play make. She also been playing with Liz Kitley, who we had going in the first round, and she always understands when and where to get Liz the ball, and she'll need that playing with Fisa, because Fisa love getting that goddamn ball. And I know we had them selecting Haley Van Lith in the first round, and it's probably very unlikely that they keep 2 rookie point guards on the team, but they can do that, and they should do that, because both of those players should be fighting each other for that position, and that should bring more competition to the locker room. And believe it or not, fans love rookies. These college stars will put butts in the seats. I'm tired of seeing people being drafted from overseas when we got so many women in this country that need to damn play in the pros. Get these women in the league, please. Save the foreign players for the 3rd round. And shout out to Canada and shout out to the Philippines, because I know y'all listen to the show. I got a Canadian coming in here somewhere in the 2nd round, so stay tuned for that. But here we go. Georgia Amoore at number 19 going to the Minnesota Lynx. Atlanta Dream will be picking number 20 in the draft. We had them selecting Elisa Pilley in the 1st round, and honestly, they can use all the help they can get. They drafted Haley Jones last year, who had a pretty decent rookie season, but she didn't average more than 5 points, so we all hoping to see more out of her, because she definitely a fan favorite. Atlanta Dream very strong in the backcourt, so let's bolster that front court a little more and see who we got them selecting at number 20. And with the 20th pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Atlanta Dream select MacKenzie Holmes, Indiana Hoosiers. MacKenzie Holmes, a 5-year senior for Indiana, is leaving the NCAA shooting 64% from the field and averaging 17 points. In the last 2 years for Indiana, she's averaging 21 and 7. Atlanta Dream also has some nice veterans for her to learn behind in Nia Coffey and Monica Billings. They do have Ileana Rupert on the roster, but she ain't been contributing, so I don't even think she's going to be there next season. Cheyenne Parker is really the only person they got in the middle, and Alyssa Pilley, I just said they drafted, but if they can get McKenzie in there, that'll give them 3 players in the front court that can actually score the basketball. MacKenzie Holmes has also been selected NCAA All-Region and AP All-American. She really could go in the 1st round, so this would be a steal if they can get her at this spot. And let me also mention, she's led the Big Ten in blocks in 3 consecutive seasons. She's led the Big Ten in field goal percentage 2 consecutive seasons, and also led in defensive rating in 2 separate seasons, 23 and 21. And that actually brings us to number 21. This pick will be made by the Washington Mystics. And I got a close connection on this one, but I'm going to give you that after we make the selection. So let's get to it. And with the 21st pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Washington Mystics select Sarah Andrews, Baylor Bears. If you ever seen Sarah Andrews play, then you know she one of the grittiest, grimiest players out there. In her senior season, she currently shooting 45% from 3. She got a real good knack to make plays for her teammates. And like I said about Jerkaila Jordan earlier in the round, she got what I call baller-like tendencies too. You can just see it when you watch her play. She got that dog in her. She be out there hitting sidestep and step back threes, dropping dimes, no-look passes. She passes the eye test in my opinion, but the shooting percentages don't match up, so that's why she's not higher on my list. And her free throw percentage is not good for a point guard. But currently that's all improved in her senior season, and if she can take that into the W, then she can definitely have more success than she did in college. And that little connection I was talking about, current Washington Mystics player Queen Egbo played 2 years at Baylor with Sarah Andrews in 21 and 22. And hey, always nice to pair 2 teammates back up together. And now let's get to the Connecticut Sun picking at 22. And with the 22nd pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Connecticut Sun select Yvonne Ejim, Gonzaga Bulldogs. And this is our Canadian that I was telling y'all about. She's having an outstanding senior season, currently averaging 20 points and 7 rebounds on 64% shooting. She also giving us a steal and a block. And when I watch her play, she has the ability to run the floor. I see her securing tough rebounds, and she can also step back and hit a mid-range, which I know she'll need because it ain't going to be easy scoring in the paint like she doing in Gonzaga. And just for example, her career high is 32 points against Queens, and in that game she went 13-17, but ain't no Queens in the WNBA. I mean, let me correct that. They are Queens. All my ladies is Queens, but I'm talking about specifically the Queens NC Royals women's basketball team. And how I think she'll fit in with Connecticut, she shouldn't be asked to come in and play any real heavy minutes because they have Brianna Jones, Olivia Nelson-Adota, DeWanna Bonner. So they pretty filled at the forward position, but DeWanna Bonner is coming into her 15th season, so we do need somebody that's going to give her some rest, maybe spot her a good 10-15 minutes. But let's get through our last couple of picks real quick here. And with the 23rd pick in the 24 WNBA draft made by the New York Liberty, they select Dyaisha Fair, Syracuse Orange. Dyaisha Fair got some of those baller-like tendencies. She's only 5'5", but she's been averaging 22 through her 5 years of college. And although she's played for Buffalo and Syracuse, somebody out there getting them 22 points against all them players. She does everything well on top of the scoring. She's giving us 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2.5 steals. She's a very high-volume shooter, so I hope she can scale that back and be more of an efficient scorer in a W. And she's from Rochester, New York. She started her college ball in Buffalo, and she's finishing in Syracuse. So, in my opinion, it's only right to send her home to New York. Let her learn behind Sabrina Ionescu and Courtney Vandersloot. They do have Maureen Johannes, one of the most exciting players in the game, but they could use some more bench play because they did get kind of crushed by the Aces. And speaking of the Aces, they will be making the final pick in this round. And let's not waste any time. With the 24th pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Las Vegas Aces select Sedona Prince out of TCU. Sedona Prince played her first 3 years at Oregon, didn't really work out that well until she transferred over to TCU, and in her senior season, she just been killing it off the charts. 21 points per game, 57% shooting, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks. She's 6'7", and the Aces could definitely use more height. We got Candace Parker coming back, and ain't no way she coming off the bench. And I know she ain't going to be playing no more than 25-30 minutes a night, and even that might be being generous. And truthfully, A'ja Wilson has just been so dominant they haven't needed anybody else at that position. But I'm sure Becky Hammond would like to get her some rest during the regular season. And I got one last quick note on Sedona Prince. She had a 10-block game against the Albaline Christian Wildcats in her senior season. That was just December 5th, 2023. You give the Las Vegas Aces some rim protection like that, and they might go off on a dynasty that we ain't never seen in any sport. But thank you guys. There you have it. Our second round mock draft is now complete. Here's a recap of all the players that we selected. If you feel like we didn't get this right, let us know in the comments. I'm Els the Truth for PR&M. Talk to you on the next one.